uzothanda ukukuvomela yawucinga ndiyangoka ndandithinje umoya wakhe sombela ukhothama kwam ibhokisi ikhatshwa ngusomagwazi usapholikhokhela nguzithongo ndakubonisa uthixo esentlombeni amagqirha exenza xeleba umbono womthembu wavela omama bebhetsa ithongo limkhomba imonti iqhuba lokulamlamba watshona ucaleka mamela imbongi yathetha intambi yahleka ugreno somasela ufumane ngompulo omhlabathi nasibanjwe ngempepha nesystem nokuphethwe ngumntu ontsundu kodwa yamabhuli yakhetha igabise iminyemba ngubani unamati inkolokhokha inathi ixabise nje inkomo ukuba liyeza ndibhala igwatya amagwala athi indomo yakatyala imancazana isingcebiso zenkosi umanqobi kulisa ukumkanintsi yaphazama the ink in this pen igazi likazikela phala lengenatyala amarharhaba akafumana ncedi zam umanga ndibuze namethomo.
Yo, what's up, family? Mighty Ecliptic up in here, yo. It's another show, really, King. Yo,
Yeah,
what's up?
bless up.
Great dog.
I'm all
Unani
good.
njalo?
Ngimnandi King. Bless up.
Word. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Is the picture good?
Yeah, it's all good, Machi. Otherwise,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm all good. Yo, King.
How's the morning so far?
I'm all good, King. Yo, I'm pumped up for today, King.
Yes.
There's two shows. There's two shows I'm supposed to attend today. So yeah, man. So
Yeah. It's busy.
yeah. It's a good hip hop weekend. Yeah, boy, it's a good hip hop.
Word.
Yeah.
Word. Alright, man. Let's start the game, Machi. Can you please introduce yourself to our people, man?
Let's up. Yeah. Igama lami nguSinethemba Nkongi. I was born and bred in Eastern Cape, and I usually say I'm from Queenstown, because most people know Queenstown, and Indwe is like 70 kilometers away from, and our biggest town, lapho sithenga khona izinto eziningi, is Queenstown. So I usually tell people I'm from Queenstown. But yeah, just to say it straight, I'm from Indwe, born and bred there. I grew up, I think since from 2004, I've been moving back and forth at Jozi and Eastern Cape Indwe. Then I added Cape Town in 2013. I started like roaming around these three cities. My hometown, Johannesburg, and Cape Town, Khayelitsha. So yeah, man. And I've had a lot of names like before. Before doing what I'm doing right now,
Sure.
I've like been like a rapper before being a poet. So I used to do English raps. I used to do Xhosa raps called Ispaza. It's a very popular genre in Cape Town, Ispaza.
Yeah, speak hip hop.
Yeah, Ispaza hip hop. Yeah, you know it. I've done that. Just like ciphering as a kid in corners as a hip hop fan. I've always wanted to be like a fan more than an active artist. So
Sure.
yeah, man. So my name now is Shaman Chant.
Yeah, can you explain to us how you got that name?
Oh yeah, man. Shaman Chant is basically me translating my Xhosa name Umwobisanose. The actual name is Umwobisanose. But since like I've been in Jozi, a lot of people like cats around me, because in Cypher's King I rap in English, then in the booth I write a proper message in Xhosa. I understand some African languages, some South African languages. So I'd like to present my show, like my artistry, the message I'm trying to send to the people, like in the language I'm comfortable most. yabo isiXhosa. Yo, I'm very comfortable with writing isiXhosa, yabo King. I'm good at writing English, but yo, I'm more comfortable in isiXhosa. So cats around here most of the time call me Shaman Chant. That's why like on paper and on Facebook, on social media platforms, I use Shaman Chant because that's the name most people like in the streets know me by. Yabo. Umdiakwazi figure search for Shaman Chant on Facebook and get me. Yabo. And it's so much hard to pronounce Umobisanuse for some people. Yabo. Before calling myself Umobisanuse, I used to use two names. Yabo, as a performing artist, like poet. Yabo, in stages. I've platforms I've got. Well, I haven't got so many platforms, but yeah, I've had platforms for this type of style we do of poetry in Eastern Cape called Iswobe. Yeah, well, yeah. I used to go by Ngalakazi. Then I went by Dinilenkomo up until I woke up with this name. Yeah, well, Umobe Sanuse. It's a name I woke up with, King Umobe Sanuse. Yeah, well. At some point, King, whenever I always go back to my poems, because I don't just write and record. I write and think about it for weeks, bruh. Like, yo, is this thing like proper? Ne? So I used to think like when I go back to a poem I've written, I was like, yo, I wonder what kind of mental state was I in when I wrote this, because there's stuff I write, also in weeks when I review them, like, yo, I get shocked at the level of thinking I get into Kanbala, because Kanbala, I'm always in a trance, King. I'm always in another state. So when I come back and check about my work, when I'm I'm always a fan. I'm always a fan of the art before an artist, as I say. So whenever I'm listening to myself as a fan of the art, hip hop, I was like, yo, I wonder what I was thinking, braka. So that's how I came up with the name. But yo, I feel like some of my writings are just messages from the ancestors. Maybe I'm not aware, ne? But it is. And I just decided, a shaman, a shaman is a nuse. sorry, a shaman is a nuse. Is someone that before connects with ancestors, they do some chants, King. So I'm those chants, King, those that connection between someone who has the power to be in the spiritual realm. So I decided to use that name, because sometimes even I myself, when I listen, like, yo, I don't know how I came up with this. Yes, I do understand it, but I don't know how I came up with it. So I feel like, yeah, man, like a shaman chant, even a shaman will never tell you, like, oh, what he just said, those chants, they will never tell you what those chants are. King.
Remember?
Yeah, King, yeah, exactly, King. He would never tell you what his chants mean, but it's something weird that connects with him to the spiritual realm. That's my poetry, King. I think we have a question from Timman.
Timman wants to know what does culture and tradition mean to you?
Like culture and tradition to me means a lot. As much as I'm not a religious person, but I love being in touch with the spiritual world in my own way. I'm a big follower of the Xhosa culture. Even my poetry like tells itself. I'm someone who's very invested in the Xhosa language, not just in the Xhosa language, Southern Africa, mostly. I've done a lot of like research, King. That's why I even changed my style of writing into telling these stories I've been reading. Because as I've said, I've done Spaza hip hop, and the Spaza hip hop is all about the street life,
as you've mentioned, you've done Spaza hip hop. How do you feel like with artists like Abo Trimanskap and Nabo Kanye Mavi, Abo Retex, how do you think it has impacted Lento Lena for you guys?
Like what I do right now, Mina.
Yeah.
before discovering the group called Izithunywa Zohlanga that inspired the person I am, like my way of writing, like shout out to Izithunywa Zohlanga. I think even um, these cats were talking about Okhanyi Mavi, or
Yeah.
or Drimanskap, or Ratex. I even think it's cats that is Izithunywa Zohlanga, is cats who's they even like come to them. Oh, Drimanskap, like um I put them in the same caliber as these Izithunywa Zohlanga, yeah, boy. Like those guys are legends that paved
Just
the
hold on
way.
a second. Fine. Okay. Hold on for a second, Yamaka.
Okay, bless.
Sure. Okay, Mama. Just hang on a second there, my guy.
Bless, King, bless.
Yeah.
Why do you think the artists don't wanna speak their language, saying mother tongue in hip hop? Yeah. You back. Uh, oh yeah.
Yeah. Apologies, guys. Just
Bless
had
up.
a, yeah, sure, my guy. You can
Oh
continue.
yeah. I feel like Drimanskap. Firstly, let me focus on Drimanskap. Is one of the guys that like did a lot. One of the first guys to um Drimanskap and Ratex is one of the first guys I think took Miss Paza and at its raw essence. Yeah, but like they didn't compromise it and took it to like commercial TV. Yeah, but so yeah, I'd say dress up. They've laid a platform to us. Ukuthi yabo to follow yabo, and that it's not easy, ne? But yeah, we'd like to also follow yabo kwamanyathelo wabo, try and um, build on top of the platform yabo foundation, because they've laid the foundation for Spaza Caps actually be able to take his Spaza to it. It's just up to us with creating high quality content to be active. If like we can do that, Tina, as artists know that are growing, I think we would be able, because it remains up, Uratek, they've laid that foundation. And Kanye is one of like the people I'd say have the thickest pen and flow in the game. Is Paz. That's one of the people that like would say played a role now in like the careful use of like the language I use, because I try as much to be careful with the language I use.
Sure.
We try to use as clean Xhosa and try bringing like new words into attention. Look, this Xhosa is much deeper than how we usually see it on TV, or how we usually talk Estradweni, because I believe like we as people have just adapted to the modern way of talking, but we just talk or in
And there's so many tribes, eh?
yeah, so many tribes. So like
Eesh.
yeah, so yeah, I've kind of said like Okhanyi Mavi is one of the people that inspired the pen game. Oh yeah,
Sure.
who is Tapura Izithunywa Zohlanga. That guy has played a lot of role in shaping me, like a way as a thinker, yabo, um, as a
So
reader.
if I
Like
may ask, my guy, in your profile you mentioned that to you your music, your style of music is umculo buciko, ne?
yeah, man. The guys I'm like referencing right now, who Zohlanga pioneered that
Yes.
genre, yabo, umculo buciko,
Mm.
fusing modern um music element of music with traditional elements. Even now, I try and stick like to what they created, I've also like elevated to my way of modern. Yeah, because I was talking to my guy, this big bro, like does Islam poetry. Like as I've said to you, I come from
Mm.
a background of like being a poet, like strictly like you don't depend on a beat to sound dope. Just have to listen to your
True.
words, your level of skill of using language. Yeah, but,
Mm.
so yeah,
Mm.
Ben Chetanai, and he picks up that, but like mine is more modern. Yeah, but um,
Mm.
as much as the corner as a elements, they are traditional African elements, but they're so electrical and modern. Yeah, but
Mm.
yeah, but
Mm.
my uniqueness, yeah, but like my
Mm.
approach to Lobutsiko. Otherwise,
Mm.
the legend is Thunywa Zohlanga pioneered that thing. Even in
Mm.
Thunywa Zohlanga, as much as your Dreamers Cup, as much as we put them as spider artists, I feel like there's some sound that was at some point umculo buciko uKhanya kakhulu yo Khanya I also take as umculo buciko queen yabo, the queen
Mm.
of umculo buciko Khanya yabo.
Mm.
So yeah,
Mm.
yabo, I'm trying to do that. It's um raw, like deep use of
Mm.
the Xhosa language. Yabo, it's going like
Mm.
way deeper, like than people think about Xhosa. Yabo, presenting
Mm.
Xhosa. Like, that's what I picked up from his Thunywa Zohlanga.
Mm.
They were telling stories about us in that present moment, because it was an album that dropped in 2006, and right now they're working on an album again. So
Mm.
they were capturing the stories that were relevant in 2006, also like going back to us as
Mm.
in our history,
Mm.
Southern Africa. I wouldn't say they were only
Mm.
talking about
Mm.
African history, amaXhosa, cha. They were broad
Mm.
in African culture, and cha, bringing that
Mm.
African
Mm.
vibe to music, to hip
Mm.
hop. About to me, yo, I love that very much, and I
Mm.
thought if one day I'd make music, that's what I
Mm.
do. But that's why I said to you, I've always had a chance to make music, because abantu that do slam poetry now,
Mm.
they do this genre called this hobby.
Mm.
Closely almost similar to umculo buciko, but different at the same time, because you can
Mm. Mm.
differentiate them.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
bit,
Mm.
if you hear tracks, it's like, oh, I know
Mm.
they are different, but still, the content is almost the same. It's all about
Mm.
uphakamisa Africa, uphakamisa
Mm.
ukucinga, just being you,
True.
consciousness, common sense,
Mm.
everything about that. The common ground.
Mm.
So yeah, that's
Uh,
working.
your your single ne, that came out, Ndibuze Namatongo. I was just playing it now a couple of minutes
Yeah,
ago.
that.
Can you please tell our fans about the track, and how
Ndibuze Namatongo King.
yeah, the content, yeah,
Um,
man, it's powerful.
it's um, it's me King. In a way, trying to introduce myself, as a guy that's very traditionally rooted. As much as I love modern hip hop, but I'm also traditionally rooted. So I'd like to express myself in this way. And um, Buzena Matongo. Let me make my way to the house quickly to put in the charger. Uh,
All right.
um, Buzena Matongo is sort of like, ask me dreams, King, because as I've said, King, I'm a very spiritual person. So
Mm.
um, that was also me in a way presenting myself, but like, Ndibuze Namatongo. Um, the beat, it was like randomly selected. I didn't
Mm.
write on it. I didn't plan to like write on that beat. I just did
Mm.
in the car, because it came to me about my nigga who sent God, the guy that
Mm.
that is doing beats for my whole project. All
Mm.
like tracks weird. So
Mm.
I was like, when we came together, like I told you, I met people who made me want to venture into this music thing last year, 2020. So this guy has been sending me beats, and I've been right. Um, I'm those guys that write without a beat. I've never like
Mm.
hard for me to write in a beat. But I always
Mm.
make sure to attach and try to be one with the beat bengathi vele bengibhalele yona yabo. It's much yo
Okay.
I think it was Namatongo. It's also why I released it. It's one of the tracks engicabanga ukuthi like yo I felt like I was one with the beat man yabo, even though it came later on yabo. So Unbuze Namatongo was sort of like introducing the idea of Umobe Sanos. Umobe Sanos is this guy that's um, traditionally rooted. He likes spirituality, especially African spirituality. Yeah, so yeah, man, Buzena Matongo will also have a follow-up um, single. Yeah, but I'm thinking of like making it an EP. Yeah, there was supposed that was that me expanding on this idea of like yo like this idea about like as I said Gamalam, I woke up with my name thing and I've said but like some of the things I write I feel like yo like I get them like in the spirit the spiritual realm yeah but
True
not
that.
in the physical world because I sometimes ask myself yo how did I come up with this yeah but so yeah but that was
So, like you said before, ne, that you took time to find people that had the style of music or that understand your style of music, ne? So my question to you would be that how important do you think it is, ne, like in this industry that wants us to all sound the same? How important do you think it is that we should try to be different and avoid that temptation of being the same?
yeah, man. I think yo, it's super um important to try as be comfortable as you can be when you make music. Yeah, but as much as it's dope creating what people do quickly catch on up on because one of my friends from Cape Town, as I said, I've also been in Cape Town, um, had expected me to do that genre is the genre I
Mm,
was talking about. I've told you I come from a poetry background, so they knew
mm,
me as like that guy that performed the poems, no bongwes, no ngonzonga. So it's expecting me to make that same music, no ngonzonga. But I took a different um, route from what was expected, and I like that thing. But like, yo, I'm so unique. Um, I decided to like, take another path, higher path that was created, and it was there for me to take. Because creating this hobby was there for me to take. It was something easy I could have done. But I just chilled. I've been chilling with people that are recording. Um, some people have been asking me, "Where's my music?" Because they know me as a guy that performs with, works with these people and knows these people. So where's my music? People have been asking for years. I've been making excuses. I won't lie. So I've been making excuses because I kind of like didn't want to explain this all the time. Oh no, bro, I haven't
mm,
found that time
mm,
and inspire you. Would say, oh, let me get in the booth. So because I feel like the
right.
sound I use, the sound I've seen God, the sound because I work with um, a guy called Sin God. He's doing this album. I'm working on 4 albums, King. Yeah,
Mm,
uh,
mm,
currently, 4 tapes. It's 4 tapes. Um, Intsholo Yendwe, Nokuhlasimla
mm,
Kwesanuse,
mm,
this Ndibuze Namathongo,
mm,
singing is from Intsholo Yendwe, which is like the
mm,
main album. Yabo ezinye
mm,
just works. Yabo also like would like
mm,
to I'm making up for the time that I wasn't
mm,
making music. Right now, as
mm,
I'm saying, I've found the sound I've been looking for, and I've been writing
mm,
all my life, King. So just me um, like like hearing beats endincanyayo like ezingizigayayo ngabantu engisebenza nabo like oh I like that beat I think I can attach it to a script I've once written sometimes I improve the scriptures about to also fit the beat in a way about the flow about not like I'm just taking like all I'm also like trying to scratch out some things I've once said back and they don't flow with the beat or something. So I
mm,
also try
mm,
so it's much
mm,
easier for me, like as I'm working on 4 albums, it's much easier because most of Umsevens I've written them like before I've written. So it's just me just just taking like what I've always been storing and just putting it in the sound I've been looking for. Yabo. So I'm currently working on 4 tapes. Before
Mm.
Ncholoye and Red Drops, I'm gonna drop an EP, Kabusha EP.
Sure.
I've taken 5 producers. It's 5 producers, 5 guys.
Mm.
I met a lot of people last year. I made a lot of
Mm.
friends about that
Mm.
like the way I write, the way I rap or
Mm.
recite. So they decided to
Mm.
give me. So I have their works. So right now, this year, um,
Mm.
I think I'm in the right place because I always make sure to do something because I'm in the right place to do it. Yeah, but just like
Mm.
yesterday, I'm very sorry again we couldn't do this interview.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Word,
it's
word.
gonna be as nice as I'm feeling it right now because yesterday I
Mm.
was in a space, not in a good space. I like doing things when
Mm.
I'm in a space and state of mind to focus on it.
Word,
That's why
word.
right
True
now I'm
that.
able. Yeah, that's why right now I'm able uh, to do these 4 tapes ngexesha elinye and also try and do izinto like Coven of Creatives because I'm in
Mm.
a team with these guys, the Coven of Creatives.
Mm.
It's a platform for artists. And we also have just expanded to cover media coverage for events and
Mm.
stuff. So
Mm.
our first media coverage was the Hip Hop
Mm.
101 Bachelors. So
Mm.
I'd also say I'm also trying, even though like I think I'm
Mm.
gonna need a lot of work. I'm trying to work as an anchor, a presenter. But
Mm.
just
Mm.
besides being a rapper, I'd like to bring
Mm.
another element into
Oh
things.
yeah, I saw you. I saw you on the hip hop one. Ne?
Yeah,
Was it on the?
I was interviewing Berkeley rappers that day.
Mm.
But
Mm.
besides me being a fan, also because I've had 2 Berkeley's here in Johannesburg.
Mm.
Like,
Mm. Mm.
so besides being also trying to be an active rapper, let me just like also try doing something else that also elevates the culture to like shout out to what you're doing right now. Yo,
Big up.
this is
Thanks,
stuff
G.
we need, bruh. This is stuff we need.
Word.
I know you. Uh, Me and you can actually know each other, ne? But
Yeah, yeah.
it's
You,
been
you.
been in a group, King, in a WhatsApp group.
Yeah,
When
yeah. I remember.
yeah, 10L
Navo, Navo.
yeah,
Yeah,
10L
yeah,
connected with you. Yeah, on that group
yeah,
now. Oh,
yeah.
Uh,
I
crypto.
remember. Yeah, I remember. Tell.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And I'm
I've
and
been
I'm and I'm working on a project with him soon also.
Tamako King. So I'm trying to say I've been
Mm.
a fan of you, following you as an MC, and you right
Yeah,
now doing this show is kind of doing what
yeah.
I'd also like to do. So I'm saying shout out to you right now, King. Yeah,
Thanks, Machi. Thanks,
also like
Machi.
not boxing yourself. We rap unjakhe. Like also like
Mm.
if there's a need for these platforms, King. Yeah, so
Mm.
you up there doing this. Yeah, so yeah, man. Um, I because I don't have much time. I'm going to these shows. I also like to answer questions that T-Man. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
man.
I'm seeing I'd like to start with. It's why do I think Xhosa artists don't want to speak their language? Same at
Word.
I say like not just Xhosa like rappers, King, like
Mm.
rappers in general, King, like hip
Mm.
hop, like cats want to do it in English. I also do it in English, King,
Mm.
because I'm working with like someone so legendary,
Mm.
get supposed like he feels like he shouldn't like uh say it up until like we're ready to release it, because it's a
Word.
track,
Word. Word. Yeah.
it's a
Keep the
South
suspense
Africa,
going for
uh,
them.
it's a nigga like very legendary in the like
Mm.
hip hop scene, like right now, especially in battle rap, like some
Mm.
like people have been wanting him to record, so we kind of did something. So I think people are trying to uh the English language. I think like right now, like is a universal language, or a language
True.
where like
Mm.
you can easily get your music to abroad, about USA right now.
Mm.
No,
Mm.
I
Mm.
think I rap on beats cats from USA would like, ne, but they wouldn't like really understand what I'm rapping about. But what I'm rapping about right now, I think is a message, man. for abantu balapha for now, because I do write in English. I'm not like ready to release Shaman Chant, the real Shaman. As I said, that's Umobe Sanus, on Buzenama Togo and every Xhosa thing I write. Right now, Shaman Chant writes in English, and Shaman Chant is not like yet ready to drop yet, because Umobe Sanus still has the message to tell. I use two characters, but as I said, most people know me as Shaman Chant, so just decided to add the name. But in on records and me talking about Umobe Sanuse. So Umobe Sanuse, that's me being comfortable with sending the message to people here in Mzansi, for now. I think even like some African countries would understand my Xhosa use, like in Zimbabwe,
Word. Word, my guy.
in Namibia, King, they speak Xhosa like I do.
Word.
I
Yeah,
think,
true that. True that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Mm, yeah, yeah.
I think besides South Africa, I think my music would make it out of the country, even though it's vernacular. But I think
Mm,
people use English just to reach an even wider audience and be easily
mm,
understood. That's why I think most people don't wanna use Lentus. I am even Nangok. I'm speaking in English, not like
yeah.
really sticking to Xhosa because I
Mm,
want you to get every single word. I want my friends to get every single word when they watch this. Yeah,
mm.
people overheads and stuff. As much as I'm adding that, mixing with this clause and solo. And
All right.
another,
So today you said you have like two events that you're performing
uh,
in. Can you please
uh,
mention
uh,
them? Where
I'm I'm
they can.
I'm only performing in one
Oh,
this
okay.
with this band from Soweto. It's Sawubona sessions, the head note sessions in Sawubona. It's an open mic, so this
All right.
band is performing there. So I know this lady, she likes what I'm
Mm,
doing.
mm,
She asked me if I'd like to perform with them about my poems.
mm,
They have a
mm,
singer and I'm a poet. So the other one is TUG,
mm,
Time and Tony Dengla. I'm not performing there, like I'm just going as
mm,
a fan, as a lover of the
mm,
arts. I'm just
mm.
supporting, appreciating. I always go
Okay.
to every event I can make it to, to support of the culture. The other one I'm going as a fan to observe. The other one I'm going to perform. So I'm just
Mm,
gonna divide my time today to make it to both.
mm, mm.
Yeah, yeah. King. Um, um,
Yeah, no, man. You must send us their posters, then we'll
um,
send it right here
uh,
for the people to see.
Speaking of performing, King, on the 12th of June, I'm going back to my roots, like my poetry roots. I'm going to Eastern Cape. My guy, Ubungwe Zindobose, very like popular in the Eastern Cape scene. He does umswobe, yeah boy. With like I've been with them, yeah boy. Yeah. So he invited me to his first ever event organized by him, not like his first ever event, like first ever event organized by him. So I'll be there speaking of performance the 12th of June in Eastern Cape. Um, yeah, I was trying to answer another question that Tim before you ask.
T was saying that let me see. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, King.
And if
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he wants to know what's your thoughts about the new sound of SA hip hop.
Oh, Tim,
Yeah,
the new sound, like the sound on television, King. Um,
yeah.
I'm not against it, ne? The
Mm,
sound. I'm no longer like, even though I'm not a fan, I'd never rap on them. But I'm not really a fan of I'm no longer I wasn't a fan, but I'm no longer mad at the trap beats. About but I also wish they could have like strong lyrical content. Because
mm, mm,
you know who Kambata was king. Well, Kambata like
mm, mm,
one of the people that made me like okay, like
mm,
stop having that negative perspective
mm,
on this sound, trap hip hop.
mm,
Because I'm
mm,
going back to our roots, the hip hop. Hip hop
mm.
in the 80s and hip hop in the 90s, the beats are different, King. It was two
True,
different beats.
true,
Yeah, but
true. Yes.
we just loved Tina. the sound that was born in the 90s. Yeah, boy,
Mm.
we holding on to it. Yeah, but that sound that
Mm.
was that raw sound that was born in the
Mm.
90s. Because
Mm.
in the 80s too, they had some commercial sound in about that was
Mm.
not so dope, but yeah, it was dope because it was the beginning of hip hop. It was hip hop at its beginning at that time. But
Mm.
Mnango, as a guy
Mm.
that was raised by 90s hip hop, I'm not much
Mm.
of a fan of like the 80s stuff. I'm not saying it didn't play a role in me, as because there is like some tracks I love for me, Public Enemy in album yabo, the 1988
Mm.
album. There is some sounds I
Mm.
don't like, about
Mm.
mostly, but there is sounds I like. But I'm trying to say
Mm.
even Nango, there's some trap
Mm.
sounds like I feel like this wasn't creative enough. Then
Mm.
there's some trap sounds I
Mm.
feel like, yo, this is nice. But I just wish this
Mm.
guy could have added more lyrical content. That's what I feel about the new sound of hip hop. But what's going on in the underground right now, I'm super content because I follow the
Mm.
underground culture like a lot. You King, globalization
Mm.
King, yo, I love that
Mm.
shit. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks, my
so
guy.
you all kings that are creating a sound because you all are doing the sound right now. So you part of like that question you are saying. Yeah, but we didn't like to answer your commercial cats. Also have to answer about you. Yeah, but you, you, me, Abraxas, and other people
Mm.
works with. I'm a big fan of Dungeon King. Yeah, but what
Mm.
Abraxas does. Yeah, but so I love that sound. Yeah, but Ngoku, like what I'm hearing. Yeah, but so
All right,
kind of
my king.
there's some sound I don't like, there's some sound I like. Yeah, but, so yeah,
Definitely.
that's my opinion about the new sound. Yeah, but there's things I like,
Okay,
there's things
Machi, before you leave us, yeah, nah,
yeah.
can you please give us your social media platforms that we can reach you on Facebook and
Oh,
Twitter and
yeah, oh,
Instagram?
yeah. Um, on Facebook, I'm mostly active on Facebook. I'm Shaman Chant.
Okay,
Um, yeah. I don't know if I should spell it, but I think it's an easy word, Shaman Chant.
enchant. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then even here.
Hello, Shaman. Okay, guys, I think we lost Shaman Chant. Oh gosh. Let me try and reach him again.